Wow. Hey, man, listen. Welcome to another edition of Cough. Welcome to another edition of Cough. And as always, I'd like to thank you all for tuning in from wherever it is in the world or in the universe that you happen to be. I'm Black Dragon, your host, and this is Black Dragon Roundtable. And tonight we're supposed to have Uncle Shaggy, OG Weasel, and Big Bone, 1%er. The Uncle Shaggy, 1%er, Big Bone, Weasel, everybody. But as you can see, it's just Shaggy and I. What's up, Uncle Shaggy?
Oh, living the dream, riding motorcycles, enjoying brotherhood, flying my colors, doing the thing.
Tell us a little bit about that motorcycle back there in the background.
That motorcycle in that background was just inherited to my son last night because my kid is such a good kid. I broke down in the middle of the woods, and he was gracious enough to come get me a battery, and I got to go be a heathen all night long. And so I said, you know what? You've been begging me for a while now to build a bike in the shop, and I said, that red chopper is yours now, and we'll get started on it this winter, and we'll go riding this spring. So, and the greatest part about it is, my beautiful daughter-in-law. I'm one of the most happiest and proudest to have a daughter-in-law. I never had one of those before. I really like this one. She said, "Hey, father-in-law, we're going to start having babies in February." Boy, I'm a happy man. I can't wait to get them grandbabies.
That's all right, man. That's all right. Wow. I want you for a dad, bro. You're gonna build a chopper, man.
Look, my kid will tell you, you don't want me as a dad. I was a dad. I wasn't his buddy.
Yeah. Hey, well, we need, boy, how much do we need? More of that, huh?
Yeah, no kidding. He don't wear skinny jeans, and he damn sure don't wear a man bun. I can tell you.
That's interesting because I was just looking at a TikTok earlier today where this dad was just losing his mind over this kid that was bullying his son. And he went up to the kid and he screamed, "That's my 6-year-old son. I will kick your ass," about my kid. And one of the dads wrote in there, "If that had been my son, I'd have blacked that guy's eye, blah, blah, blah." And my response was, if that had been your son, you should have whooped your son's ass. And obviously you have no control over him. He's terrorizing the school-year-old. He's a 13 or 14-year-old overgrown big bully beating up on kids. And obviously, although that wasn't his kid, but obviously this kid, his parents aren't doing what they should be, or you wouldn't have somebody's dad screaming at you. It reminds me of my years when a teacher cussed your ass out or gave you a whooping, or somebody in the neighborhood almost knocked your teeth out. You got up screaming, whatever you do, don't you call my mom, don't you call my dad, because if you call them and you tell them that you had to chastise me, when I got home, they weren't going to be picking on you. They were going to be murdering me. So those days are gone. Now we uphold these kids in their in whatever unholy they decide to unleash upon society instead of holding our kids accountable. You couldn't come home in my neighborhood where I grew up having dishonored the family in any way. If an adult had to get on you, you had hell to pay at home. What do you think about that?
I'll take that further. I grew up in a little town in the Southwest called Phoenix, Arizona, and I'm here to tell you, we were 7 kids that were poor, didn't know it. We had a roof over our head, food in our bellies, and we were some of the toughest goddamn kids. I mean, we'd fight each other, and then when we couldn't fight each other, we'd fight whoever we could find. But if we screwed up at a buddy's house, his parents beat us. Then they told our parents. Then we got beat there. And if my older brother was babysitting us, if he had to get away from playing his video games or whatever, or do whatever he's doing, smoozing a girl, whatever the case may be, he'd get pissed off and he'd beat us some more. And everybody always wondered why our generation's so damn tough. All we did was fight and get our ass kicked.
That's and so that brings us to tonight's show. And for those of you all, we do the Dragon's Lair or the round table Sunday nights, 8 p.m. Every Sunday. And so tonight's round table, where we get people from around the motorcycle club community to talk about events. And sometimes we have a lot of people, sometimes we have a few. I know that OG Weasel's supposed to be coming on, and so is Big Bone when his show is over. But until then, we're going to run with our guy that we have here, Uncle Shaggy. And tonight we're talking about how to put MCing back into the motorcycle club, because we get a lot of this where a lot of motorcycle we've had a couple shows here where we've talked about people that want to be out of their motorcycle club. The motorcycle club's not motorcycling anymore. It's not fun. It's dysfunctional. Everybody's mad at everybody. Everybody's riding everybody up, putting charges on everybody, fining everybody, putting everybody out bad. You get to a point where you have these people screaming, I would never bring anybody new into my motorcycle club. And it seems like motorcycle clubs have gotten away from riding, have gotten away from brotherhood, have gotten away from fealty, loyalty. So the question is, how do you bring MCing back into the MC?
Oh, I love this question. This is something that people ain't gonna like what I say, because the truth of the matter is, brotherhood is only as strong as your brotherhood that you give, right? That you have in you. You're raising, how you're taught, how you speak, how you carry yourself. And putting the MC back in MCing is a myth. If you go around saying all the things that you described a few minutes ago, I'm here to tell you, you're a bitcher, you're a whiner, you're a complainer, you're the minority that just wants to be right all the time, and you're not part of the team. You have to have everything your way. Look, MCing is there. I ride my motorcycle with my brothers. I have fun. I do we do our thing. We laugh, man. I'll tell you right now, I've had a pretty busy 8 months with all the work I've been doing, to and from work, and I not getting to do a whole lot of MCing because of my job. And my brothers have been patient. And I'll also tell you this, man. When I'm with them, I never laugh so hard in my life. And we never have somebody, the fun just never ends. Sounds like to me they're not in a motorcycle club. Sounds like to me that if the whole club thinks that, they need to just go ahead and put their rags down, because they're not falling within the meaning and the code of being in a motorcycle club, which is, respect, communication, and participation. It's all about respect, trust, loyalty, honor. You have to have certain traits before you come to a club. This lifestyle ain't for everybody. If you ain't got thick skin and thick hide, you're not going to make it anyway. You're going to be that crier, that whiner, that bitcher, that moaner. You're going to go in there and fake yourself for a year or two until, you decide you're going to come out of your shell. Now you want to change the club to what you want it. Check it out, man. The club ain't yours. The club is all of ours. It is about all of us. It's about each individual brother, which brings each individual spoke in the wheel, which makes that wheel perfect and straight and true. MCing is always there. MCing is always going to be there. the guys that are saying that, oh, I don't want to be in my club, I wouldn't want to bring anybody in my club, then get out of your club because you're the weak link in the club. Because if all you could do is bitch and complain and not have a solution with your complaint, guess what? You're the problem. You're the biggest problem. I hate when I was a leader at one time, and I love being the low man on the totem pole, man. It's great riding your motorcycle, not responsible for nothing. But, when I was a leader, I used to tell my guys, man, don't come to me with your bitches and complaints without taking the time to put a solution to it. I don't care if the solution is right or wrong. Show me that you're giving some effort. Show me you love your club. Show me you love your brother. Show you love the fact that you are trying to contribute to make your club better. Guess what, guys? The club is only as strong as your weakest link, just like our military, just like our government, just like anything in life, society, any organization. If all you do is walk around and bitch and complain all the time, get out of the club. The club is not you. It's not your life. You are not a part of my circle. You are not a like-minded individual like me, and you do not believe the things that I believe about the purpose of being in a motorcycle club. Motorcycling, brotherhood, having fun, that like-minded individuals around each other. The fact that we can agree to disagree, we still love each other unconditionally, we still respect each other, we still ride 100 mile an hour, handlebar to handlebar, front tire to back tire, and just have a goddamn blast and just smile the whole way through it. Eating bugs, laughing. I'm here to tell you, motorcycling is still there. MCing is still there. Man, I love seeing the other clubs. I love talking to the other clubs in my area and across the country. Man, to hear their stories and they hear our stories. People who say MCing ain't there, they ain't MC. They're not MC. They're not a part of the team that they swore an oath to. They're not a part of that group of men that they came to and said, man, I want to dedicate my life to this, because this is a life dedication. You don't half-ass to join this. You can't be half in. You can't just be in on the weekends. MCing, and people saying that MCing is going away and riding motorcycles is going away and club life is going away are the dumbest people on the planet, because they don't understand what MCing is, riding motorcycles is. They don't understand brotherhood. They don't understand respect. They don't understand the love and loyalty that goes into this. Read your books, follow your history, man. Every goddamn Fed that ever infiltrated a motorcycle club stood on the stand at every trial he went to and said, man, these guys really do love each other. They really do care for each other. I don't understand it. I just don't understand it. Well, guess what? You can't understand it because your fellow cop don't care for you. But right. I care for my brother. I love my brother. I love my brothers unconditionally. Black Dragon, you're my brother from another club. You called me today. I just literally turned my motorcycle off and walked in my shop, and you asked me to do this show. And my brother from another club called me and asked me, hell yeah, I'll do a show with you. Without hesitation. That's what brotherhood is. That's what loyalty, respect, the whole 9 yards. MC is not dead. For the world to understand that it's not dead. You're making that up. It's a myth.
Well, we think about each other. There's been so many times you've picked up the phone to call over the years. You picked up the phone to call me just to say, "Hey, man, what's going on? How you doing, man?" I hadn't talked to you in a while, and I said, "Man, I want to call Shaggy and bring him on the show and talk to him, and it feels good." And I thought, when I thought about this subject tonight, I thought about you, and I said, this would be a good one Uncle Shaggy can speak on, because he's gonna put it down. But, I got to say this. Still, people's clubs get to a point that they're not riding. Not just one person, but the club. They're fighting at every meeting. They've lost the path to MCing. They have their clubs are in great disarray. There's got to be a way to bring that back. Can one man make a difference in something like that?
I always say that one man can make a difference. One man could be he could destroy a club, because a lot of it depends on the loyalty and following he may have. He could be the cancer that lifts the club up. It takes time for other brothers to see just what that brother is doing. Um, I think these clubs that are doing this, uh, the honest truth about it, and I hate to do this because I'm not an excuses guy. I can't stand excuses.
Right.
But it's a fact of life, and I see it all over. The COVID thing really put motorcycle clubs, they set them back. We really cared for our elders and our brothers. We canceled events. That first year was a nightmare. Well, then second year comes around. Well, yeah, we're getting a little bit comfortable not going, and then you start going to events, but they're poorly attended. We're in our third, 3.5 year or whatever. A lot of motorcycle clubs said, this is bullshit. We're going back to riding our motorcycles. Let's die together. That's what we chose to do anyway. We're real cautious and careful. I missed a national this year because I got COVID, and I'm here to tell you right now, I wouldn't have went just with a whisper of thinking I had it because I love my elders. They're such wonderful guys, and I idolize the hell out of them because I joined their club. And so these clubs that aren't riding and stuff like that, the ones that are saying they're not, well, what are they doing to motivate their brothers? I mean, if you're going to sit there and say, well, you're not riding, you're not riding, you're not riding, well, guess what? What do your bylaws say? I mean, why do you vote for this shit if you're not going to follow it? I mean, they're bitching and complaining. The funniest thing to me is they bring it to social media and they bring it to Facebook and they put it out in the public. That baffles the living crap out of me because I'm going to tell you what, I don't care how bad my club ever got. I would never trash my club in public.
Right.
And nobody could ever trash their club in public. My club has taught me a lot that I thought I already knew, and I didn't. From the young guys all the way up to the guys that have been 54, 55 years in the club. They taught me more than, and I sit with a bated breath to hear what they got to say. I give every brother a chance to hear what they got to say. Sometimes I'm stubborn, but I love my brother unconditionally, and he deserves to be heard. And these clubs that aren't riding, that's their problem. And if their internal beefs are with each other and getting out in the public, shame on them. Whoever's running their fucking mouth, kick them out of the club after you beat the hell out of them. You broke the code. MCing is not dead, man. I have been having a blast for the last 3 weeks with my brothers riding all over the place, laughing. I run into other guys that are talking about the good times they're having. Man, I like to meet these people and say, clubbing's dying, MCing's dying. What it is all these media outlets that are out there talking about, this is bad and that is bad. They do this, they do that, protocol this, protocol that. Hey, check it out, man. Get on your motorcycle and ride the damn thing. If you're blaming somebody, what they say is don't ever point your finger at somebody else. You always got three more pointing back at you. Are you riding your motorcycle like you want everybody else to be? Are you being the brother you want everybody else to be? And why are you talking your club business outside of your goddamn club?
Well, I don't think people know what club business is anymore. What?
Well, shame on them. That's poor leadership.
Well, but it's the truth. I don't. As much club business as you see out on the internet today, I don't think these kids know what the hell constitutes club business.
So one of the things I talked about a year ago when I had that imaginary Shaggy's Corner going was the fact that there was that little show that the black side had, and there was that little show that the white side had, and there was a cool myth that that's the way we did shit, right? So the motorcycle clubs expanded, got big, all that good stuff like that. Well, now those guys have made it through all these years, and they became leaders, and they're running their narratives, and people are buying off into what they think, and the laziness is possibly deep in some clubs, but they thought, I guess everybody thinks because, hey man, old Jax Teller is talking about some pretty girl about how he's got guns and dope in his saddlebags, and they're going to take a ride on up to Washington or whatever, that's okay to do. It's a show. They're not being mentored right. Men aren't, real elders and founders and guys who have done this for years and years and decades aren't being listened to, and they're not. And I guarantee they're teaching. I ain't never met an elder yet not taking time to teach me.
Right.
But wait a minute, I was taught different. I show them respect and I show them reverence and I sit next to them and I talk to them and I let them know that thank you for letting me join your motorcycle club. I'm proud to be here. I'm on your coattails. This is your club, and I hope I can do everything I can to move your club into the future. So when you die, you can rest easy. Hey, check that out. That's why the elders love me and I love them, because I'm their brother first.
Oh my God. Man, Shaggy, I wish to hell I wish to hell some of these kids felt that way. We want to welcome to the show OG Weasel. OG Weasel, man, appreciate you. I guess you had a hard time getting that rig pulled over.
Yo, let me tell you, man. The setup right now is kind of nervous. I ain't got the whole sexy camera, correct mic thing going on, but the message is the same, so it's all good. So my apology, brothers, for the late arrival, but we just trying to, we're trying to do it the safe way. So, but yeah, Shaggy, man, you hitting on a lot of good points there, man. It's crazy how we've migrated so far away from what the culture is and from what biking is, and it's almost sad, And we talk about how to put the MC, put MCing back in the MC, and it's we really have to hit that reset button. And the problem is that when we as the gatekeepers, we saw this coming. So I blame us partially because we allowed this to happen, and we should have been tapping bros on the shoulders saying, listen, what are y'all doing over here? And we've gotten to the point that we really can't bring it back, but what we can do is we can build good brothers now. We can basically, one brother at a time, express to them the seriousness of what this biking thing is about. And we really need a reset, one bro at a time. And the thing is, that brother that you may talk to may be the brother that will be in leadership one day that can probably redirect that club. And the way I look at it is that, people are coming to the lifestyle without really getting educated on what it is. And so we need to start giving more resources so people can look at the seriousness of it. If you talk about like the MC for what it really is, and you want to compare it to something else, let's say if you compare this to the Bloods and the Crips, you can't go over to the Bloods and the Crips doing something different than what it is. So if we had that same mindset about biking, it'd be different. It'd be different. And the thing is, a lot of these clubs, they don't know why they exist. I mean, everybody goes out and it's easy to get a club and get 5 bros and y'all run down the street and you're looking good. And I see this over and over, but it's like they don't have any true respect for the culture, and their club really has no direction. So the thing is, if you got a whole club of brothers and none of them are bikers, then the core of what it's really about is it's not in place. So you got to be honest with yourself and look, and how many people can really sit there and look at their club and go, listen, what are we really doing? Are we really an MC, or are we just a couple of brothers that's out here just riding together, rocking a patch? And if that's the case, then you know what? It's all good. Stay within that element and say, you know what? If we move like an RC, then I wouldn't want to make as much noise when I'm on a set. I would kind of say, you know what? Let's just do what we do. And we see a lot of cats out there, a lot of these rubs is the correct reference that they got. And I see this every day. And, it just kills me to see this because this is a costume. This is something that these brothers is turning on and off. It's Friday, you're off work, and here it comes. Let me go home and put the 20 chains on and the boots and and the belt buckle, and let me rock out with the bros for the weekend. And come Sunday, I'm going to turn this back off and go back to what I do over in corporate. And then we all have to eat. But when it comes to this lifestyle, like, we have to have an appreciation for it that doesn't stop. And we have to understand, we have to, one bike at a time, we need to take ownership of what this is. We need to understand what this is. This lifestyle is exactly what it is, a lifestyle. And you can't live the lifestyle if you're doing something different or deviating from what you're told. I mean, everybody's thirsty for this knowledge. So you get all this knowledge from all these different sources, but you're not doing nothing with it. So the thing is, what's next for your club? And can you take that constructive criticism to say, what are we really doing over here? And your club is not going to say it. The club
OG, I want to teach you something. Because I've listened to you, I've read your posts, I have a high amount of respect for you. What I really want to teach you is this is not a lifestyle. This is a life choice. Styles change.
I like that.
My mom wore bell bottoms. I thought that was the funniest shit I ever seen in my life, right?
You need an applause on that.
Actually, I like that. I like that. That's a good
I chose this life and then I earned my way from day one to this day right now where I'm sitting in front of you guys. Every day is earning my brother's respect, keeping my brother's respect, earning the respect of my community, and maintaining that. Just because I wear a diamond and just because I'm known and all that shit like that, don't mean it gives me a pass. I still have to work hard every single day to be here. The other thing too is the problem with what this whole thing's about, putting the MC back in MC. Why in the hell there's so many clubs? I mean, it's like every time you turn around, it's like, well, I want to start at this club and that club. Well, there's 10 clubs that are already like that. The set's so full of the same thing. And that's why people are making the claims they're making, and then they're putting their business out there in the public. Uh, my club and a bunch of other clubs would just love not to have any of this on YouTube. This discussed at all because back in the day they didn't need to. Man, every area had no more than 4 or 5, maybe 6 clubs at the most. Everybody knew everybody. Hell, man, I go on my area here in St. Louis, and I meet somebody new every day. I run into new clubs every single day. I ask them what their club's about, and 90% of their members couldn't tell me what their club was about. And I look at them at that point, they ain't a club. I'll tell you what my club's about. I ain't gonna do it on YouTube. I'll tell you what my former club was about. I ain't gonna do it on YouTube. There's their mentorship, man. It all starts with a sponsor, and these sponsors we have these days are just letting these guys walk through. I mean, man, I watch guys that sit around and on their asses with prospect this or prospect that on, and they're drunk or they're doing this or they're doing that. They're literally not showing any dedication to their club. Now I'm gonna tell you right now, I wore boots out. My dogs were barking every day I got home. My motorcycle, an old 1973 Iron It, I had to tighten every damn bolt on it because I knew they were going to run the shit out of me in a couple more hours after I woke up. I mean, the set's so bloated because, truthfully and honestly, man, everything's strong arm robbery these days, and you can only say alleged so many times before these cameras get you, and before these this RICO thing. I mean. People need to get involved with the COCs and NCOCs, incoms, the whole 9 yards, because they get educated that way. But back to the MC, they need to latch on to somebody who knows MCing. They see them ride their motorcycles. They see the brotherhood they have with their other brothers. They don't see that dude sitting over by himself playing with his phone. I went out to a bar last night with a brother, and we're sitting out in the parking lot waiting on another brother to get there. We decided to go in and have a beer, and I noticed everybody in there was young, 24, 25, every person in there. They're sitting at the bar, they're sitting at their chairs, and they're on their phones, and instead of interacting with each other, they're texting each other. That blows my mind.
Yeah, it's a new day.
I'll tell you what, man. I've seen guys riding down the road on their motorcycles, texting and goofing off, pull their cameras out, and man, that phone is in my pocket or it's in my saddlebag because the number one important thing to me is the safety of my brother. I couldn't imagine running into one of my brothers.
True indeed. Well, let me tell you this, Shag, y'all. First of all, I appreciate the words because I'm gonna take that into my new vocabulary and the life choice. I've heard it put different ways, and as a brother that's been around, I can definitely appreciate that reference. So I'm going to incorporate that into my biker lingo from now on. It's not going to be lifestyle; it's going to be life choice. And the thing is, once we understand that, I think back. I remember when I came to the table, and I was around the bros and just being out, and I just about all the knowledge stuff. We basically just moved as bikers. We wasn't thinking about protocol because I didn't hear this reference to protocol, this whole reference to it as big as it is these days until about maybe 15 to 20 years ago. And it was all about knowledge, and I know this, and I'm following protocol, this and that. Like we never had to say that, and I think what's happening is we're so caught up. The set is so caught up in all these trends, and that's kind of what's diluting things. Even when it comes to knowledge, like what is knowledge that's not used. It's not. It's just something that you just know. It's unused knowledge is just something you know. And the thing is, I'm finding out more and more. A lot of people are just caught up in the ability to make statements, and they're not really living what we speak about. So it's easy to say things and your actions don't match, and that's what's happening. That a lot of clubs are running around saying brotherhood this and brotherhood that, and we riding our bikes, and really the reality is that they're not doing a true self-assessment. Because if you go to the next brother and say, listen, man, how does my club look to you? And you really hear what an outside opinion is, you'll really get the truth. And it's kind of hard sometimes to dissect that and accept it, because if you're that brother that really can't take constructive criticism and you think you're doing something, the next man tells you that you're not, it's a hard pill to swallow. It's a hard pill to swallow. And that's what a lot of these clubs right now, they're running around the way they are because they think they're MCing, they think they're biking, they think they ride, and they think they're doing all this stuff. So it's kind of like, as long as they have that mentality and nobody's checking them, it's going to continue to be the same exact way until more realness comes to the table, and they're seeing real brothers that they can look at and say, you know what, why are we not doing that? Like you said, when you got bros and you out with your bros, it's not about that text, it's about the fellowship and what's going on around you, you know. And a lot of people just haven't grasped onto that to that concept yet. So
the problem is they're there for an image. They don't understand brotherhood. They don't give a shit about that. They're there to wear that patch and look cool and ride around and, hey, look at me, look at me, look at me. Man, bikers don't want to be looked at. They don't want to be out there on Front Street. They don't want to be out there, saying, look at me, and walking around with bedazzled cuts and skinny jeans and man buns and walking around like they're the new generation of Greeks and shit like that. Man, we're men. We're the last left in this country, or so, most of us anyway. I mean, everything is about respect and earning your credibility. If you go back to what you said before, compared to the Bloods, the Crips, and the street gangs, right? You had to fight your way in. I remember being a youngster and thought I was cool. I joined a gang and I got jumped in, and man, I look back at it now and what the hell was I thinking? I let about 20 guys beat the shit out of me, and I couldn't really fight back. I didn't have to do that to join a motorcycle club. I had to prove that I could serve my brothers. I had to prove that I knew my brothers. I had to prove that I could ride my motorcycle. I had to prove that I could identify security risks. I had to prove that I was part of that like-minded group of folks that came together for a purpose of brotherhood and caring and love and compassion for each other. Right. And, would protect each other to give up to giving their life. I've never read a story too often about where gangs would do that for each other. A gang member will kill his best friend for money and power. I don't read too many books and stuff like that about bikers that have done that. Of course, movies will make that a fascination, but it happens. I mean, I can't deny that. It's well documented, but it is a true thing for us that are truly living this lifestyle. And others need to either get on board with what we're doing, because this is our show, not theirs. They joined, just like when you join an older motorcycle club or an old motorcycle club, you join their club. You're new. You got to earn your way up that ladder.
And you might be new for 20 years.
Yeah.
You got guys with 40 years in the club, 20 years, you ain't talking nothing. You're still new.
Oh, what? The big thing that tickles me is because I hear it all the time, and I think I coined the phrase. I think the average age is 35 to 45 for prospects. Well, you got a club that's 30, 40 years old, man, and you got 50, 60, 70-year-old men running around that founded the club, and they think they're just buddies and equals and whatever, and they don't show the reverence that guy owns, because these guys are already middle-aged themselves when they come around. Well, guess what? Newsflash. You old-ass bastards, if you're going through your life crisis and join motorcycle clubs, them old guys still deserve your reverence. Your age does not excuse you from that. And that's a big part of the problem and that I've heard and seen in a lot of clubs.
Well, you know what? If we think about this right now, each club member right now asks themselves, is our club really MCing? If they could really answer that question to themselves and have an honest answer and look at what biking should be and what brothers really do, and the way we really got here, and just basically, live the culture. And I think that answer would be interesting if a person come online and answer that question right now. And a lot of people be willing to answer that, because it's going to be a reality check. One thing to say that I've always had an appreciation for the next brother and for the culture, and meaning that I wanted to engulf myself with everything that was biker, be it the bikes, be it just reading the history, the brothers, everything about it, and I think that's kind of what built my personal appreciation for it. And a lot of people nowadays, they just come into the patch, and it's just like, it's just right to the patch, to the party, to I just can't figure out what's happening here. But it's a lot of clubs that just have no purpose of even being a club. And what we're seeing, we're seeing that same situation repeated patch after patch, and you put it all together. Basically, I think the word they use is fuckery. That's the new modern day term that I'm hearing over and over. And it's just
What's
a
it
lot of
called?
that going on. You should be saying it, but it's fuckery. And that is
Fuckery.
the
Oh, yeah.
fuckery. Yeah, so it's a lot of that going on. And you look around. I mean, I don't come out too often to these parties for that simple fact that, when I walk in the room and I look around, I'm looking at the patches and I'm looking at the brothers, and I ask myself, I said, is that a deserving brother? No matter, be it a 1 or 99, it's like, is that a deserving brother wearing that patch? And I'm looking at them and I'm looking at the way they're moving, and it's just like, I'm saying to myself, what's happening at this event that's biker? What's making this fun? What is this? What am I experiencing right now? And a lot of times, it's nothing. It's nothing to do with biking. It's just another party. And just the whole core of what we do as bikers is just kind of diluted, even to the way that I see some of these people dress. Not for nothing. I mean, people do what they do. But if I'm on this set, for me, my boots is signature. Me wearing the bandana is just a natural thing that I gravitate to when I'm in that set, because that's my environment. So it's kind of like when you go to church, you dress a certain type of way. And for me, this is natural. And when bros come on a set and they're looking like they're going to like a high school prom versus going to a biker party, I look at them like, bro, like maybe it's just me, but it's just like, that's not how we present ourselves as bikers. It's not like you're trying to be like generic about it, but it's a way that there's a swag that we have as bikers, and that I think that we should at least present ourselves as such. And this is part of the
Well,
whole thing.
you're right. And what's being misrepresented is, um, if a club is putting out patch members, like they used to say back in the day, you had patch holders and you had brothers. And I hated that. That term pissed me off. Like, if we got patch holders, and we know they're patch holders, they're there just to have the patch. Why in the hell are they in our club? Why can't we just pull their patch and get them the hell out of here, because they don't belong here, because they're here for an image? Always ask that question. The answer was always, well, somebody calls them brother. Well, I mean, somebody might slip up because they may not understand what brother is either. But
Right.
that all falls back on not the community per se. It falls back on the lackadaisical way these sponsors are bringing in these guys. The recruitment, people, we don't, no club recruits, they say, but it all falls down to, hey man, is that my buddy? The sponsor shouldn't be the prospect or hang around buddy. He needs to be his mentor. He needs to be his teacher. He needs to give a piece of himself to this man that's fixing to take that long, journey to servitude to an organization that requires that. I remember 22 years ago, man, I learned nothing about the club. I learned the essentials, in the first 6 months of prospecting, which was security, servitude to my brothers, paying attention to what, they said, lighting cigarettes and chasing beers. Well, I ain't no slave. I ain't no bitch. I ain't gonna be treated that way. Well, if you don't understand the meaning behind it, well, yeah, I guess it looks pretty bad on it. But with the time and experience, and that time you spend with those men, it all explains itself. It all comes out in the wash. And the guys that are for real bikers, they're for real clubbers, they're for real brothers. It's like a light comes over them, just a a beacon that says, "Hey, man, I've made it through that rite of passage," and that those brothers recognize that. You know, the problem on that I hear a lot of times with the set is there's too much bitching and not enough action. I'll say this: people I'm around, because I surround myself with good people, and I do it purposely because I'd rather be around good people. We ride, we live the life. You know, not every day's a sunny day, but in a torrential downpour, we're riding 80 mile an hour, handlebar to handlebar, front tire to back tire, and if we wad them up, we wad them up together.
That's
But
right.
we ride together enough, we can do that safely because we know each other. Why? Because we're a brotherhood, we're a real motorcycle club, and that if you have to ask yourself, is my club MCing? Is my club MCing? If you even have to fathom that question, get out of your club.
Yeah.
Destroy your club. Get rid of whatever it takes because it's not an MC. I never ask. I ask myself every day, and when I get up, what can I do to better my club?
Stop breathing so hard into the microphone. Every brother Weasel.
Oh, my bad, bro. It's a sensitive mic, man. I'm not in my element tonight, man. So you gotta excuse me, bro.
All right, keep going, Shaggy.
But you know, I ask myself every morning, hey, what can I do to better my club today? Or what can I do to help my brother make him better today? When I go to bed, I evaluate to see if I did those things and made those goals. And I say to myself, well, you know, what can I do better tomorrow? Every member should think that way. I mean, it becomes natural if you're really, truly about your club. It's a natural thing. It's like being in the military, you know. You made sure your uniforms were pressed. You made sure your boots were polished. You made sure your mustache was in regulation. Your hair was cut correctly. You made sure that you were in accordance with what those guys, those drill instructors taught you. It's no different in a motorcycle club. Your elders are teaching you what worked. All these guys coming in these clubs don't understand. You look at them elders, man, they love each other, kiss each other on the lips, and that's a true sign of respect between them. They poke at each other like kids, and they laugh like, you know, there's no tomorrow. And they love each other like you wouldn't believe. They'll protect each other. They have protected each other. You
Right.
know, that's an example to follow. But these youngsters, some of them, they feel that, oh well, if you kiss your brother on the mouth, you're a queer. Well, guess what? Bikers started kissing each other on the mouth because it really disgusted the squares. Oh, I have a problem kissing my brother on the mouth. It doesn't bother me at all. It don't bother me to show him that reverence, that respect, because the man earned it. He's my brother. You know, your club is only as good as what you put into it. Man, if you think you're going to join a motorcycle club and get all the goods and all the great shit that every TV program and every Fed talks about, I'm here to tell you, I put in every ounce of energy I ever had in my first club, and it took 10, 11 years before I saw what would be called payback. But I wasn't looking for it, and I wasn't doing it for the payback. It's not about that.
You know what?
So,
I think that a lot of people that come to these clubs, they're looking for something. You know, sometimes it's validation, sometimes it's just pure acceptance, or the fact is that they have no idea why they're there. They're just there for the sake of being there. You know, and this is why you have so many clubs trying to make statements, because they're like, look at us. And the thing is, they need that. Some clubs need that versus just doing what you do and not need to make those statements. Like, you know, we've all seen it, like clubs having these crazy parties, like these all white parties. Like, if I'm a biker, not for nothing, people do what they do, but you'll never see me at a bike function rocking all white. I don't care what you're doing. You will not see me going to a biker party all white, wearing all white. And the reason being, first of all, because I rode there, and I'm not trying to get into that. To me, I don't associate certain things with biking, you know, and I really try not to support certain things. My thing has been for the last years.
I don't know if you have these on your set, Shaggy, all white parties. That is those are kinds of things we have on our set. And you know
So
something?
I wear a white vest, right? So if I show up in a white and somebody says you're in all white, I'm gonna laugh and say, "Yep, I am." What is the all white thing? This is a new term for me. I might have to write this down. I might try to,
The all white party.
implement it on our side. It might be a good time.
Everybody has to wear all white.
Are these the guys that you take back of the clubhouse there, where it's all fenced in and games are played?
No, the all white. No, an all white party. Everybody comes to the party. They have these theme parties. It's a theme party, so everybody shows up all white. And I gotta say, I've never gone to an all white party, biker club party in all white like you, because I figure I mess up my nice white stuff.
Yeah,
So
different.
I might wear a white shirt. I used to.
I'm starting to think this might be a bit of profiling going on here.
Shaggy, something. I'm gonna send you. I used to wear an way back 20 some years ago. I used to wear an all white vest, jean jacket, jean cutoff vest. Many decades ago. Wow. Thinking about that, but yeah. Wow. That's something. But go on, OG.
Well, it's more so, like I said, the things that are just not truthfully related to biking. We have to think about it as clubs and as individuals. What are we supporting? And the more fuel you put in that fire, basically it's going to continue. And that's what's happened over the years. I look at myself, and if you see me come out, you would think I'm poor as hell, because I wear the same 2 pair of jeans, the same 2 shirts. I've rocked the same boots for the last 20 years, and it shows. And the thing is, and to me, that's an honor thing, because it's kind of like, when you look at me, there's no question about it. You don't have to wonder, like, did you ride or are you a biker? Like, it is what it is. You're going to know that. And a lot of people you see in these days is in these clubs, and they showing up. And you got to wonder. You got to ask that question, did this cat ride? Because you're looking like you got fresh out the car. So we even lost that visual look of a biker. Even though you got cuts on.
That, you don't look like you've been riding in them.
Yeah, and it's like, come on, man. Like, and you're cleaning the cuts and you're waxing them up and everything else. Like, things like that. There's honor.
You can wax a cut.
I've never minded being a clean looking biker. I like to be clean. I like my fingernails to be clean. I like for my rings to be clean. I want a clean ring. I want all my stuff to be clean. I want to smell good. Get off the road smelling good, this, that, and the other. So
that's why you ride a Honda and a Victory.
Yeah, because I don't want oil from my Harley to be all over my stuff. You got the oil slinging ass. Anyway,
that's why you're usually behind us. We want to give you our image.
Victories don't ride behind. You guys be lucky to keep up. Don't do this, Shaggy. Don't do this.
Oh, I digress. I got Badass sitting over here on the shelf. You want to check it out?
Don't make me come. Don't make me come. Leave it on the side of the road, rolling so hard. Listen, all we got to do is ride 300 miles, and the bikes will do it to themselves.
Yeah,
300 miles.
Let me adjust my.
That's gas stop to gas. That's one gas stop right there, right?
Ooh, that's a big tank. I like that.
Yeah,
that's
tank. You go faster and you learn how to peg. You don't have to stop as often.
I like that. That's a big tank. I'm more like 240, 260. So I'd love a 300-mile tank.
Hey, it's called a welder, some sheet metal. It's called Little Ingenuity. And guess what, man? Get some shops and stuff like that around your clubhouses or your brother's houses, and build some brotherhood.
Yes.
I got brothers in my club that are like the scientific part of a motor. I was raised with the whole, we're talking about, that looks about straight. Let's see how that does. Put all that stuff together and you learn some history and you spend time together. Time is the one thing you can't replace with anything.
Absolutely.
So guys, we got like 8 minutes left in this hour, something like that. 5 minutes left in this hour.
And I know
So
I have to pull out of here. So I'm not, and
I,
I hate the
hey,
fact, and I'm
look,
so
here's
on
another
point
thing
tonight
I'll teach you:
with my
never
thoughts
pull
and
out.
everything. Well, no, yeah, I'm so off point tonight, man. First of all, with the audio and the whole setup, and
yeah,
then
yeah.
I'm mentally not in the game tonight, man. So my apologies to you, brothers, man. Because I'm a little disconnected and rushed, but but the thing is, the message is still the same, and I will say this. No, y'all was talking about presentations. You ever be out like on the set or in the Harley shop, and the dude walks in that looks like he's been riding like 100 years? Like, to me, like, I appreciate that. I can look at you and like your whole presence just tells the story without me even having to ask you anything, especially when I'm at an event. And it's kind of like, what, to me, that's like stimulating. And it reminds me of, what, to me, that's what biking had represented. Where I can look at a brother and his story almost tells itself. And it's kind of like, what, like I'll kind of navigate towards this person because like I want to chop it up and just hear a little something about you, just as a brother. And the thing is, it's hard to find that these days. When I get out, I see some brothers like that, but it's kind of hard to find people that I could say somewhat interest me, because that core element that we would normally see, like back in the days, if you went to a party, you see the brothers, and you can just tell the way that people move, that they're comfortable in their skin when it comes to being on a set versus being a circus clown. And it's different. We all bike different ways, but at the end of the day, there's just like an aura that bikers have, and a lot of us just don't have that still. So, and it's just, I
But
don't know, man.
but
It's just a disconnect.
how do you get it back? Uncle Shaggy says you don't.
It's a natural.
If
It's a
you ain't got
natural.
it, you just let it go.
It's natural. It's
Look, I'll give
natural.
you a good example. Clubs all have an ebb and flow. They have their highs, they have their lows. They'll have 100 prospects, and then all of them will patch, and then a year will go by, and there'll be 5 left after
Right.
patching, right?
Right.
Some of the guys I came in with, I think there's 4 of us out of the lot, and the lot was pretty good size. And I run into these guys, and they're like, "Hey, Shaggy, I don't want to give you any excuses or anything, but I got out because my heart wasn't in it." And my response has always been, "Your heart wasn't in it to begin with. You got to make a decision day one. You're all in, or you just don't do it. You can't be half in, half out. You're all in, or you're all out. There is no in between."
Man, Shaggy, I'm 100% with you. And it's been that way for me in my club. And I've had ups and downs, highs and lows, ins and outs. I think if I were to leave this club, it would only go up. I wouldn't leave it to go in a lateral kind of direction. So I either leave it and I don't do it anymore, or I leave it and I move up. And for me, moving up means moving up in responsibility, and moving up in dedication. I believe that 1%er clubs take more dedication, certainly have more responsibility. So to me, that would be a move up, or definitely a move in a different direction than lateral. I don't think you're going to ever see me move to another 99% club or something like that, because to me, that would mean that I just didn't give enough. And I'm not talking negatively about anybody who does. You got to move for you, why you do you, and no one can be you or talk about you or do you. But for me, it has been either I'm in this thing or I'm not. And like you say, I'm either going to be with it forever. I'm either going to have it in my heart. I made the commitment from day one. And I very much say, for me, one man can make a difference. If
Absolutely.
I don't like the club I'm in, I can absolutely recruit the club I want, or I can train the club I want, or I can provide such an example that people want to take up the mantle. And oh my God, I can't let him have all that much fun or all that much recognition, or I can't let him have all the glory. I got to go get some of it too. You can be an inspiration for your brothers. You can be a trendsetter, a game setter. You can put new milestones out. And it's all done by leadership by example. And like you said, the three hallmarks, and this is an Uncle Shaggyism, the three hallmarks of a successful organization: respect, participation, and communication. Respect, participation, communication. I learned that from you. And when I look at people that say all these things that we talked about tonight, the first thing I asked you is, what kind of a respect are you showing the club? What kind of respect are you demanding from the club? And you don't demand respect by saying, respect me, respect me. You don't respect. That's not. You demand respect through leadership by example. People look at you and they see that you're always on the club business. You're always making the club happen. You're always doing something for the club. You're club. I remember the commanding officer of my submarine. That I'm sure he had issues because the admiral was always in his ass. But when we saw him, all we saw was a guy about the business of the ship 24/7. He slept ship. He ate ship. He vomited ship. Everything was ship. You could not match his dedication. Now, his superiors looked at, hey, man, you guys screwed up that op. But for us that were his peers and beneath, his shipmates, the guys that worked for him, that we could find no faltering in his dedication towards the ship. And you know guys in the MC like that, whose dedication toward the MC is absolutely above reproach. Those are the guys that make the difference. Those are the guys. And so those are the guys we follow. And you can become that guy. Increase your knowledge, increase your participation, increase your communication, increase your respect. Increase. Stop bitching and moaning and complaining. Go ahead.
And quit pointing your finger at your brother. Your brother, what I like to do is if I see a brother has a fault, I try to help him build that fault up to an asset. You know, I want the best for my brother. When he's happy, man, I'm happy that he's happy. When he's sad, man, I'm doing everything I can to make him laugh or make him happy. You know, it starts with the individual. If you're a miserable cocksucker, you just be a miserable cocksucker. But your club knows that, and they know how to curtail around you. If you're that guy, and every club has several of them, but each chapter has at least one guy that does everything. This guy is busting his ass, and you never hear him bitch. You never hear him complain. You know, he don't ask for help because he probably knows he's not going to get it. But, you know, he accepts the responsibility because he knows it's what's best for his club. He don't do stuff to what's best for himself. That's part of being in a motorcycle club, being in that organization and being a part of something bigger than yourself. You're serving a group of men that you swore an oath to. It's not about the individual. Like that commanding officer. You know, I've been under presidents, man, that I would walk you through the depths of hell and come out with them, and there'd be no question. And then there's guys that I'm like, man, that dude's just sitting in that position because he wants that title on his chest, and he wants to walk around. But to hear him try to handle club business, and he should be the most educated, he should be the sharpest tool, and he starts talking, and he's nothing but a tool. And you look at him, you're like, man, oh, how embarrassing is that? And you can't say nothing because you respect your club, and you're not going to oversay something or step on your president or whoever this person may be. But you get back to the clubhouse and you thump that son bitch silly, and hopefully it ingrains into him. You know, I just can't accept the fact that we got to put MCing back in MCing. It's a foreign term to me because MCing never left. That's why there's clubs out there that's been going since, as Dibber would say, 1899, the very first motorcycle club in the UK. It's still called the Motorcycle Club. And then you got the Yonkers and the Galloping Goose and the Hells Angels, and you got the Motor Maids. You've got, I mean, all these clubs that were started in the 60s. And then you got these clubs that started in the 70s and 80s, and they're still going strong. But then you got these new clubs that became clubs because they didn't want to prospect. They didn't want to learn what it took for, you know, that club that was started in 1899, the things they had to learn to be the strong club they are today.
Mhm.
That's where the disconnect's at. The disconnect isn't with the community, because if we're going to say the disconnect's with the community, it ain't really the disconnect with the community. It's the disconnect with law enforcement and people who can't mind their own business. Back in the day, if clubs needed to be straightened out by the local dominant, which was a rare thing, but when it happened, and it usually happened wherever they found them, the public shut their mouths, looked the other way, wasn't none of their business. Well, everybody thinks it's their business now. You know, um,
Mhm. Mhm.
People got to understand that this lifestyle, or excuse me, this life choice, isn't a style. It isn't a fad. Choppers are a fad at sometimes. Bolt-on choppers are a fad. Um, uh, uh, Brand new motorcycles can be a fad. Um, the type of vest people wear can be a fad.
Right.
But living this life is not a fad.
Mhm. Right. So, so it looks like we got Bone 1%er. Show up right as we're getting ready to shut down the show, my friend.
I got bad timing.
Well, before you go, tell me about this
All
white
white.
party,
All white
all
What
white
party.
now?
party.
All
What is
white.
this all white party?
The all white party? Wait, which
Yeah,
one?
I don't know.
He,
I just heard this
he
term
doesn't
tonight. I'm
particularly.
trying.
He never heard of an all white party before.
Oh yeah, well see, there's a few different ones. There's in fact somebody was telling me there's somewhere in Atlanta they have an all white party, but they're talking about the it's not what's that guy's name? It's not David Duke and his boys. It's what it is it's like doggone Puff Daddy. That's the guy. Puff Daddy used to have one. It was like where everybody wears like all white outfits and they go to the Hamptons and it's like a real big deal. But what's happened is over
Didn't
the
college
years,
didn't colleges do that and they called it a yoga party, toga
well,
party, or
toga
something like
party, yeah, it's
that?
sort
Okay.
of like that, except for this is like high end shit. So what's happened is on the MC set amongst social clubs and shit like that, like the all women clubs or the social clubs, they started having these theme type parties where like you don't even show up on a motorcycle half the time, or like the people to go anyway, right? They show up and it's basically just a fucking party. Everybody wears all white, and there's even clubs, swear to God, who have their vest all white, white shoes, white pants, white, like whatever your fucking outfit is, that shit is all white. Because like Invaders, y'all have a white vest, but that's an actual real life motorcycle vest. They have a white vest for the special occasion of the all white party. Like they only wear that shit once a year. No kidding.
So what I'm hearing the problem is here to go with is as the MC left the MC or whatever. It sounds like to me that on that particular party, that's not MC. You better show up on your motorcycle if you're going to be at a motorcycle club party. Uh,
Right.
I don't care how prim and proper your shit is. If you got to wear bags over because you want it to stay that white, well, go, do whatever it takes because it might
Yeah,
rain on
shit.
the way to that white party. And
Man, I
the
tell you,
other thing is, who the fuck wears a suit on a motorcycle?
I'll tell you who. Fucking what's his name? Mom Boucher in Canada.
Mom Boucher.
Mom Boucher used to do that shit. He used to wear a pair. You know what I'm talking about. That motherfucker, Mom Boucher, used to wear from. He used to wear these like jeans or like khaki style pants with
Oh, you're
some
talking about up there in Canada?
Quebec. Yeah,
Oh,
I
okay,
think he
yeah.
was in Quebec, but
Uh,
he tried
I
to
never
turn that
seen
thing
pictures of
into.
that, but I'll take your word.
Yeah, no, you can Google that shit. The way they used to say was that Mom Boucher was sort of like a cross between Al Capone and Tony Soprano. Like, and a lot of the guys up there, you say, man, you'd be hard pressed to ever catch him on a motorcycle. But when he was, he was suit and tie and all that whole thing, and he put his rags on his vest on over some shit that he was looked like he was going to court in. I ain't trying to start nothing, but that's what folks used to say.
Well, look
I
here,
stay out
guys.
of Canada business because I love America. Fuck Canada.
right,
Well,
right on, right on. Hey,
well,
look, don't make me point. There you
uh,
go. Yeah.
what was that noise I just heard? Is that something you just did?
Who me? No. Oh wait, yeah. You know what it was? It was the phone. It was the phone. I think
Oh,
I'm still. Hold on. Let me take a look. See here.
I thought
I
that
believe
was.
that was the phone.
I thought that was
Because hold on.
Hey,
Bill
what
Clinton.
the
Trying to
fuck is
call
in
in.
your vapor thing? Because
Oh,
like
this thing.
you went from coherent to like
That's one of these
that's
things.
a biker party. Allegedly,
Hell
that's
yeah.
what I was taught.
Oh, the Martian.
Nah, this is just some
Touchdown.
old nicotine with some what is this shit? Mint
Hey,
ice.
hey, you ain't got to explain shit to me. I just made a joke. I don't judge you. You do what
Shit,
you
I
want.
forgot. I'm glad you asked. I forgot.
Well, look, guys, we are 5 minutes over our hour. So, listen, I love you guys, man. I just want to say thank you. Thanks, Shaggy, for coming on. Thanks, Bone. You
Thanks for
had
having me.
your show go good tonight. You have fun on your show
Yeah,
tonight.
you know what? It was a fun show. We stayed. We didn't go too far over, but yeah, it was a good show. A fun topic. We talked about about guns and booze and bitches and bikes and
I heard you with your.
yeah.
I heard part of that. Well, I just have to disagree with you on. So we got it. We got to do this show again.
Yeah, we got to do it
I don't
again.
understand why people get to have guns and they don't have to go to school to learn how to. This is a Marine talking.
No, that's what I said. No, I said
That's
people should go. Oh yeah,
no.
I'm good.
People
Thank you.
shouldn't go. You
I'm
shouldn't
coming.
go to
But
school. No,
no, I said that people should
I
know
heard
how
you
to
say
use it.
that, and I was
Yeah.
like, "What the hell?" Hey,
Yeah.
man, let it. Carrying is a right. You don't have to have the Second Amendment is a right granted to us by the founding fathers. You don't need any classes.
No, look, fair enough. But what I'm saying is, okay, now I'll tell you, like in my state of Florida, in order for you to get not to own, but in order to carry it concealed, unless you are prior service military, because there your DD 214 will suffice. But if you're a civilian, never had no time in the military, you actually have to take a gun. What do you call it? A firearm safety course, like teach how to use the gun and carry it and store it and all like that. I'm saying that's what they do. That's a
Hey,
Florida
check
thing.
it out. I live in Missouri, and we're America. Yo, I don't have to have any classes, even though I was an instructor and I did all that stuff like that.
Yeah,
But I wear that some bitch concealed. I wear it, out in the open. I
yeah.
wear it any way I want to. Why? Because I'm American, and I have a Second Amendment, and I carry my Constitution with me everywhere I go. And
Oh yeah.
by God, we don't like a lot of rules up here. We like our
Hey,
cigarettes, we like our
I ain't
beer, we like our
arguing.
gas keep, and we like our guns where they fire bullets when they
See,
need to.
I used to feel like this. I used to feel like the same way about a car because it takes more to get a driver's license. I mean, you got to do more to get a driver's license than it does. I mean, unless you got a felony, it don't take hardly nothing to go and get a gun and possibly carry it. So I'm just saying, it's one of the few things I'll go along with Florida about. Not so much that you can't have one. I ain't with that. I think anybody who's of sound mind and body should be allowed to have a firearm, felony or not, as long as you ain't like kill nobody and raping folks and all like that. But
Prove it.
I will say it's a good idea if you're gonna carry it, know how to use it, because y'all remember back in the '80s when it was all them drive-bys was happening
Hey,
all
man,
over the
that was
place
the
all
first
the time.
part of the conversation of the show you missed.
Oh
We
yeah.
already hit that subject.
Oh,
Man,
did you?
you are behind tonight.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. I'm behind, brother.
But
But
you're
yeah, I'm
right
like shit.
on. But you're
Be
right
able to
on.
hit the shit that you're
Uh,
shooting at. That's all I'm saying.
All
well,
right,
yeah,
guys.
hey, Jarhead, even being
Yeah.
a CB, we don't turn our gat sideways.
We don't need. Oh boy, that shit
Even
used to
the
bother me.
Submariner knows better than that shit.
Look, here you go. Dude, I was at. Well, I won't say. Long story short, when I start seeing motherfuckers do that shit, boy, that used to.
Hell.
I just want to go and slap a motherfucker in the neck. What the fuck
I
are you
first
doing?
saw that on the in the and I think in the music videos. The first time I ever saw that, I was like, what is he saluting? What the hell is he
Yo,
doing?
you know where that shit came from? I'll tell you where
What?
that shit came from.
Scarface. Didn't that come from
No,
Scarface?
no, nope.
No,
What happened
he held
was
the M16 correctly when he shot it.
there was a SEAL team. It was it wasn't a SIG. It was a certain
And
series of Smith and Wesson. 2606 or something like that, or 2602. But they had a series of Smith and Wessons that had a defect, and the government, the what do you call them cats? The Department of Defense was going to secure a new line of firearms, sidearms for the military. And I want to say it was SEAL Team 6 was the first ones to get these things, and they were pretty good. Passed all the tests except for when you fire that sidearm. The ejection port was screwed up. So instead of the
That was the M9
cartridge,
Beretta, the biggest piece of shit on the planet.
no, it wasn't the M9. It was
Yeah, it was
wasn't the
breaking
M9.
Marines' noses. It was breaking the SEALs' noses because they'd give us to the Seabees, and
Yeah.
we were afraid to shoot them. We'd put them in front of us, then we'd look to the side and pull the trigger.
Well, yeah. Well, see, that's what it was. It was
We
a
stayed
fucked
with
up
the
ejection port.
45s and the
Look
submarine
here.
ports. Yeah.
Look, so what happened? You fired a
Won
weapon, and
2 World Wars.
instead of the ejection going this way, the ejection would come back this way, like this. So what they started doing, the SEAL team started, because they had them, they were stuck with that piece of shit for a year. So they started being proficient at it. So they said instead of shooting this way, because the cartridge is going to be ejected this way, they started turning it to the side. That way, it would be ejected that way. So
But there's a difference. They were trained how to shoot them from the side.
right.
The dude's coming down in that Cadillac with the 26 or 28s
Right.
on there and the beat up,
See,
windows busted out.
Yeah,
Them guys ain't trained to shoot like that. That's why
that's
grandma
my
gets
point.
killed and the dude lives.
They started doing this shit because it looked cool when they see these guys, instead of shooting like this, like they've seen everybody do, they turn it to the side and they thought it looked cool. And next thing you know, it's in a rap video. And guess what? Now, every so-called gangster in the world, break yourself, fool. What the hell? No, it didn't matter what. So now these idiots that are doing this, guess what that cartridge is going to do? Bing. The reason those guys were doing it is so they wouldn't get bumped in the face. These idiots are doing it, and they're definitely getting bumped in the face. Except so they not only can they not shoot shit, they're shooting and ducking the fucking cartridges that's coming back in their face because they're freaking idiots.
Hitting everything except what they're shooting at. Listen, guys, we got to run. It has been we're now 10 minutes over our hour. So listen, I love you guys. I appreciate you both. Thank you, Uncle Staggy. 1%er.
Guys, take care. Thanks for having me on.
1%er, man. Next weekend. Congratulations. Good luck with your show.
Man, thank you.
Take care, man. Have a great night.
Y'all get a minute. Come and visit.
Hey, man. Well, we appreciate having you guys, man. Man, those guys are so much fun to talk to. I could do it all night with these guys, man. Go Navy, Boomer Sooner. This is me, man. This is my whole life. I'm from Oklahoma, Navy. This is whoever this is from my own hometown, probably. Black Dragon is missing the fact that not everyone comes into gun ownership like he did. Boy, we got to have that show. Buildings are for family gatherings and the streets are for family reunions. Bring the bands to the streets. Find ways to gather in the power of numbers and hold the peace. Amen. Danny Toastmaster, there used to be a 9mm pistol that was an aluminum frame and a steel carrier. Gun basically ate itself back in the... Yeah. Of course it was going to eat itself if that was what it was composed of. Interesting. Very interesting. Anyway, as Chris Sutton will always say, we MC, pound we MC. Listen, we need you guys to like, share, and subscribe to us. We're going to be on in the morning. I made a big, huge mistake before they say never update software, like everything's going fine, and you don't update software unless you have time to test it. And I updated my system, and it took out everything. I'm doing everything manual right now. And that really sucks. My Elgato Stream Deck is completely dead. It's normal. Look at that. It's dead. And it won't reload. Everything was so perfect, and now it's destroyed. So now I'm actually doing all my loading just so you guys can see. Let me show you my other screen over here. This is so sad. So this is everything now instead of being done by a push button, right? So normally when I'm running my show, I'm just pushing buttons. Toot, 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 toot. Now I'm over here with the mouse looking for the effect I want. And I got to scroll down and find, this is ridiculous. So in order to take us out of here, I'm going to need, okay, so I have a commercial there, a commercial there. Then I'll have to come back up for the loop. Oh my God, this is just ugly, man. Ugly, ugly. So this is what it actually looks like to run the show if you have to do it. If you have to do it by hand. And then they make this incredible little thing here where you can program all this stuff to these buttons. And because I updated this didn't update with it. So I guess that's the next 4 or 5 hours tonight figuring this out if I want a good show tomorrow. Just so you guys know, I did it to myself. Never update nothing without having time to test it, bro. It was good to have Shaggy back on the show. Yes, it was, man. Absolutely outstanding to have him back on the show. All right. Hit the like, share, and subscribe. Hit the like, share, and subscribe button. We can be found on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Twitch, LinkedIn, and here on YouTube. Order my books, Prospects Bible, Sergeant Arms Bible, President's Bible, all on Amazon, Kindle, or order your autographed copy on blackdragonsgear.com. My preferred method, if you're going to order my book, is blackdragonsgear.com, if you don't mind. But any way you can get it is fine. Join our daily podcast, The Dragon's Lair, LAIR, The Dragon's Lair, Motorcycle Chaos. We're on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts. We have a Discord server. Join us on our Discord link in the description below. And you can get a hold of me at Black Dragon at blacksabbathmc.com. Check us out on all our platforms and bikerliberty.com, our online news magazine. And we will see you tomorrow morning at 10 a.m., where we'll be bringing Black Dragon Biker News Network. Biker News you can trust. Boy, what the heck is this? How long has that been there? Biker News you can trust. And I guess that's everything. Let's see if I can get us out of here. Let me see if I can get us out of here not using my buttons. That's going to be interesting. First of all, I need to get rid of that. Okay, that comes up. Then I'll get rid of... This is just so sad. So sad. Boom. Okay. We'll go to a commercial now if I can bring it up. This is so sad. Just so sad.
Get Black Dragon's first book, The Prospects Bible, to learn how to join a motorcycle club. It has been an Amazon #1 bestseller for the past 7 years and is required reading for over 3,000 motorcycle clubs worldwide. This book is a must-have for new people venturing onto the motorcycle club set. It will teach you how to prepare yourself for service to the motorcycle club nation and show you how to qualify a motorcycle club to be worthy of your service. Available on Amazon, Kindle, and for order at your local bookstore. Get your autographed copy at blackdragonsgear.com. Be the best motorcycle club prospect you can be. Get the book.
Well, at least I know how to do it manually. It's not as smooth, but I know how to do it. Prepare yourself to take the helm as president of your mighty motorcycle club by delving into the pages of Black Dragon's newest book, The President's Bible, Chronicle 1, Principles of Motorcycle Club Leadership. There you will learn to advance your skills in applying the 14 scientific principles of leadership similar to those taught to officers in the United States Naval Service. Available in hardcover, paperback, and ebook. Get yours today on Amazon, Kindle, or order it at your local bookstore. Order your autographed copy from blackdragonsgear.com. Be the best motorcycle club president you can be. Get the book.